And it's now February 13th. Yeah, anniversary day. And I'm here by myself at Georgetown. And you can take a look here how many boats you see. This is the pack, which is near the town. On the south side of the channel or bay. I was on the outside of the pack at one point, and now I'm quite a bit inside of it. And there you can see some of the boats on the northern side of the channel. And down in that direction there, that's over by the holes. Down here we see all those boats. And Volleyball Beach and Hamburger Beach and places like that. And the pack goes on back there too. It's quite a busy place. I expect there's something between 250 and 300 boats here. And with that many boats, there's always something happening. Constantly somebody's moving or coming in or leaving, so there's all kinds of activity going on, not to mention dinghy traffic back and forth. So anyway, it's supper time now. People are settling down for dinner, as I am too. So I've got some stuff on the go here. Some mahi-mahi. Fish so good they named it twice. And I'm going to have it outside tonight to watch the sunset. On the way in to do a little shopping. Sorry, that's a little bouncy. Bit of a current through here now. There often is. And that's where we tie up for the groceries. So you can see that Lake Victoria is nothing more than really a big pond. Not even a big pond at that. And you know, Georgetown isn't very much more than just this little downtown area. And the grocery stores. Exuma Markets is right on the left here. Well, today we're going to go over and take a little look at Stocking Island and the holes. And there's Volleyball Beach. Some volleyball nets set up there. Lots of people on the beach. Yeah, there's a lot of boats here. This is really the playground area of this Elizabeth Harbor. Okay, well, I'm over here on a little scrap of beach, and we're just going to take a walk along back to the southwest, the direction of the boat. That looks like an interesting place.
And then the wheel is about here. Right here is where the wheel is. It catches the open stuff. And this is the wheel.
Well, when a sudden windy squall came up, the entertainment was watching a couple of boats who started to drag into shore reset their anchors. Unfortunately, I missed most of it, but that was that sailboat moving around. He was very close to the shore. Well, I'm all caliced and Goombay smashed out, so gonna continue on with my walk now down the beach in that direction. While I'm walking along the beach here, this is the second ray I've seen. Look at that. It's just a few, about 6 feet off the edge of the water here. You'd have to watch yourself walking around here. Yeah, see? He's right like that, right where I am. Clear as day. And there he goes, he's on the move. And a couple of more. Why are they congregating here? I have no idea. At least 2 more, if not. No, there's more than that. I can see movement out there, so there's a number of them there. In fact, all those things out there that look like rocks could be raised. Well, this morning, after a windy night, but fairly calm because we're well protected here, I've come ashore to the beach that's just opposite the boat, and we're going to do a little bit of exploration along here. In particular, I just saw this sign up here, Treasure Trail to South Beach. So definitely have to follow that up, see where that goes. And I come out of the forest here at South Beach. Well, we're going to exit the beachfront here up a little path that I found called Marie's Path. And the idea is to get up to the cairn. Look at that thing, eh? That's got to be about 1 meter tall and half a meter wide, right beside the path here. I'm glad it's not a bee's nest, but I'm not really sure what animal has made that. Oh, I don't know. Glad it doesn't seem to be anything that cares about me. There, we're just about there. This is the monument on the tallest part of Stocking Island. Yeah, Leaning Tower. That's right, your eyes are not playing tricks on you. Doesn't appear to be quite straight. Yeah, there's something here. Well, it's a hard life, but somebody's got to do it. Got a rum punch. $8 rum punch. $4 on Wednesdays. Yeah, North Beach. That sign says straight ahead. South Beach and Monument. I'm thinking maybe there's no way of getting from the North Beach to the South Beach. Well, we'll take a look. Anyway, one way or other, we're pretty soon going to be on the windward side walking back toward the treasure trail and the dinghy. Well, we're finally out of Elizabeth Harbor and back on the fringe of the deep ocean here as we head north just off the coast of Great Exuma. My navionics chart for Elizabeth Harbor was badly out of date and you couldn't rely on anything there. It was saying that the deepest part of the channel was to the right-hand side of it, or the northern eastern part of it, where in fact it was the opposite. So that was not very reliable. I was feeling my way forward very slowly and cautiously with a double reefed Genoa and 1,000 RPMs on the engine only, and just creeping ahead. And every time I'd get to water that was 7 feet deep and threatening to get shallower, I would turn left, and so felt my way around the shallow spots. A couple of sailboats, catamarans following me. One radioed me to ask me if I was okay, and I explained that my chart was completely unreliable, and he knew what the navionics charts can be like. And so anyway, he kept an eye on me, but I did fine, and I found my way to a little farther to where I could start to head out of Conky Cut, which is what I've been looking for. And so I was able to finally do that. And now we're out of Elizabeth Harbor and on the way to Steventon, which is the most northerly town of any significance on Great Exuma. That's my first stop as I head up the small little Exuma Islands. It's only going to be a couple of hours to get there. That's going to be very typical of my days from now on. Whenever I make a passage, it's going to be very short. Well, today is the 22nd of February, and I'm on the way to Rat Key from Steventon. And these are the Three Sisters rocks. We're apparently, according to Stephen Pavlitis, 3 sisters drowned here. Who knows? Lots of boats out today, some going south and some going north, as I am. Well, we've arrived here at Rat Key. Now this is a little bit of a different kind of setup here than I normally have. You can see I have my snubber, which now permanently is on these cleat on the side of the boat, but I've got it around the windlass drum, and it goes up just to grab the chain there to take the pressure off the windlass. That's not usual, but then again, we normally don't have the chain coming off at an angle like this, and that's because I have a starboard bridle out. You can see there at the stern. That holds us 90 degrees to the wind, but dead on for these swells that are little swells that are coming in around the point here. And That way we're not rolling anymore. We were rolling when we first arrived, but now with the setting up of the bridle, we can put our bow to the swells and just tip our hats or tip our noses to the swell as it comes in. And you can't see how the two anchors nest together, but there you can see the secondary anchor now up at the bow, and it's I get out of my shadow out of the way, and its line is hanging there on a little line which gathers it up. It hangs in the locker there off the bottom, so that I can still flip the chain around down there as I have to do, because as you know, the chain doesn't want to flake itself in there nicely. It piles up in a pile. So I've got that rope off the ground hanging there, and so I can still do that operation. And I've discovered stupidly that I've bought I believe I've bought one size too small of this black line. I bought 300 feet of it. The guy accidentally gave me 600 feet, but it's actually one size smaller than this other anchor line, which I believe is the proper size for these anchors. So for this size boat. So anyway, I'm gonna have to get some more line, but I do have this wonderful 600 feet, 150 of it here, and 450 at the back that I can use for, let's say Panama Canal line, where you have to have 4 lengths of 100-foot rope, or 150. I'm not really sure what it is, but most boats don't have that. Now I do. Anyway, you see Rat Key is quite beautiful, and we're here now. Going to relax now for the afternoon. Got here after only about 2.5 hours or so travel. Like I said, we're not going very far every day. And it's February 23rd, and we're running north from Rat Key to Cave Key. It's just about lunchtime, and having some cheese and crackers and beer. Lovely day today. And in the early afternoon, we're experiencing a little drop of wind here, so we're just motoring along nice and gently. And we're almost at Cave Key Cut, which is where we're going to be going in behind the islands. This is Musha Key, and there's been a guy calling on the radio all morning about how 7 of their parrots have disappeared. So I don't know if that, I think it's a boat that has 7 parrots on board, and they all got out somehow. And so he's asking other boaters to help him look in the trees for his large birds. Anyway, that's the interesting thing on the radio all morning. So we should be there at Cave Key, which is just up here, pretty soon. That one here just between is called Moon Key, apparently because whoever named it thought it resembled the moon. It does look like the surface of the moon. Well, it doesn't really go very far, does it? It's a nice little protected piece of water, though. Looks like it's probably about 12 feet deep, if not more. There's some stalactites up there. Well, here we are. That's Little Farmer Key over there. And over here is Big Farmer Key. And this is the first time I've Bahamian moored. The chain went down first, put out all the chain, 200 feet of it out, then dropped the white road chain over the edge. And then as I wheeled back half of the chain, 100 feet, I paid out the white rope. So now we're lying halfway between the primary anchor on the chain and the secondary anchor on that white road. And the two lines are tied together with a length of rope and are down in the water just above the bottom, so about 10 feet down. So as the boat swings back and forth, the weight of the chain is supposed to hold the rope down with it because of that little piece of rope tying them together, and allow the boat to pivot freely over top of the join so the keel doesn't catch the rope. And the wind is trying to push us back as normal here. But interestingly enough, I know that we're right around the turn of the tide. According to my chart plotter, we're just about at the turn of the tide now. And the boat is trying to, occasionally tries to get its stern to come up into the wind. That's kind of interesting. Right now it's not doing it, but before I saw it go off quite a distance. So I think it's possible that the tide is starting to flood. And as the tide floods, it'll push the boat around, and so we're going to be facing 180 degrees the other way, and the secondary anchor will take over the strain. And there we are coming, we'll see what happens here. We are coming up into the wind quite a bit, and as we come sideways to the wind will have more effect on the boat at this time, and it'll reach an equilibrium. Yeah, it looks like it has right there. But eventually, when the tide gets going really strongly, the wind is not going to be able to withstand that, and it will turn us around so that we're facing the wrong way. And so that's kind of interesting. I still have the snubber on the chain, and the knot that joins the two roads together is a little farther down underneath the snubber. So this is the first time I've had to do this. It actually went quite smoothly. When you do it, I had it all worked out what I was going to do in advance. Thought about it quite a bit, trying to find any reasons why it wouldn't work. And this is good. It's going to hold us pretty close in between the two anchors, which is good because whereas this is not too shallow over here until you get about halfway to the catamaran, then we would start having problems. But on this side here, we're off a bank which is only about 4 feet deep, and that's about 100 feet off to our side. So we don't want to be wandering all over this area. We're kind of in a slot here, in a deep water slot, about 15 feet deep between two shallow areas. And our anchors are aligned with the major axis of that slot. So we should be sitting here in the middle and not going off one way or the other. If the wind does blow from the side at something like slack tide, what would happen then is that both anchors would take the strain and should hold us here in the channel. Cheese and crackers for lunch and watching the boats come in. And this is kind of neat. Look at these ripples here. The tide is starting to flood. And the boat's swinging. It's pointing over there toward Little Farmer Key now. Here's the entrance we came in. It's almost broadside to us now. So the tide is taking over, defying the wind, which is coming from this direction, as we slowly swing our stern up to the wind. That's kind of neat. If we didn't have the double anchors down, the boat would have rotated now and would have worked its way that way 200 feet with 100 feet of chain out. And so we'd be 200 feet farther down there. And if there were other boats anchored in the area, we might bang into them if they weren't anchored in the same manner. Then, of course, when you go 180 degrees, the anchor will pull out on a strong wind or tide. The anchor will pull out and then hopefully reset. But if it doesn't reset and just drags along the bottom upside down or something, then you've got trouble. So this is another way of being able to handle that kind of a situation and sleep well at night. Interesting, and good thing I got here just when I did, just before the change of the tide. Otherwise it would have been a little ambiguous as to how to put the anchors down. But it worked out okay. And now the tide has taken over. It's won the battle of the elements with the wind. Everywhere around me now is a rustling of moving water. It's like we're in a river, pointing back here towards the entrance that we just came at. Over the shallows here, there's quite a lot of movement of water. And like I said, everywhere you can hear this rustling of moving water. It's the little wavelets coming in on the wind, tripping over the tide. Come ashore here to Little Harbor on Little Farmer Key. I think I'm going to go up to the Ocean Cabin restaurant and bar, see if I can grab some internet.
You want to see it? See that?
Oh, yeah.
I'm working down on this spot now in the tail area.
Okay. How long will it take you to complete that?
I got a month and a half.
Wow.
Because I got to put in all the scales, all the scales, scales.
Okay.
They're going to take, I'm still working.
And how long have you been working on it now?
Keep taking your pictures.
Yeah.
It ain't easy as you think. You see, my job is shaving. I got to bring this down into the tail.
Yeah.
And bring this out and curve that with a hacksaw, right? A coping saw then.
Okay.
It's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And then these got to open up. These got to lay off the body also.
Okay.
But you can't do that because you're spinning this and you don't want that to break.
Yeah.
What break on this? Cannot put back on.
That's right, you can't put it back.
It's handmade. It's Michelangelo. That's the way Da Vinci we do it.
Just coming back from a little restaurant meal at Ocean Cabin, and I saw the moon coming up. I'm on the dinghy right now, so that is why things are a little bouncy. Now that I'm sailing along here, I thought you'd be able to take a look at I call Big Brother and Little Brother here, the two anchors nestled together, and you can see the difference in the sizes there. Well, now we're out of the waves. This is the Staniel Key cruising area. This is a very popular spot. A lot of the people come here, and some people don't want to leave apparently. And anyway, we're going around the corner to a just off a key called Big Major's Spot. And that's where we're going to be. There's a marina here and stuff on Staniel Key, but we won't be needing their services as far as I know. Unless it's maybe for internet or something. But anyway, So we're in the protection of Leaf Key and another one here that I can't remember the name of. And so we finally got some nice calm water. Not that it was bad, it was a little bit rolly as we were running, but we're okay now. Moving along quite briskly. Another 1.5 miles to go, and then we'll go around the corner to Big Major's spot. Well, that's Staniel Key and Staniel Key Yacht Club, and just to the north of that is this place here, and that's where you'll find Thunderball Cave. It was a cave that was used during the filming of the James Bond movie Thunderball. It's right about where that blue boat is anchored. You dive down under the water and you enter this grotto from an underwater passage, and you come up into the grotto, which is open to the sky, and it's supposed to be very beautiful. Now I don't know if I'm actually going to do that. I've got my camera with me, which sort of, you know, causes a problem, but we'll see.
You know why? Susanna's not here anymore. Not like the other road. I couldn't tell, long, sweet, short.
Things are quite quiet now because they've just suffered about their 9th power failure of the day. So all the fans have stopped turning and the music has stopped and all the rest of it. Ah, and as I speak, they've come back alive again. Yeah, that's an earth shark. I think this is a place where the nurse sharks go to sleep on a particular dock that submerges, and they have names, and you just push them aside with your feet as you're walking on the submerged dock.
What?
Yeah, just in case you wanted to see what the current was like here. Look at me trying to get the dinghy past this rock here. Actually, I'm not making any headway at all. And I'm going at my higher cruising speed. This is the rock which is opposite Crown of Thorns, which is over here. This is a flood tide. So what did I do today? Well, today I went for a little circumnavigation of Big Major's spot, the K here, and went all the way around it and back to Thunderball Cave. And I looked at Thunderball Cave for a bit and I thought, well, am I going to go swimming there or not? I had my camera with me. So I went back to the boat and got my bathing suit and went back to Thunderball Cave, and I took a little dive there and went inside and checked out the grotto. As I was perhaps mentioning before on this video, my memory is getting bad, I can't remember. Thunderball Cave was where they filmed some of the scenes from the James Bond movie Thunderball. And so I definitely wanted to go and see what that cave was all about. So snorkel dive down and got inside the grotto. Actually, it was funny. I was watching the bottom and navigating and making sure that the current wasn't going to push me up against the rocks. And I was doing that so conscientiously that I actually exited the grotto at the other end, seeing the light ahead of me and thinking that was the grotto. I kept swimming and found that I was coming out on the other side of the island. It's not that far. And so anyway, I went back and checked it out. And it's only about 20 foot in diameter grotto under the ground with about 5 eroded holes in the surface. You know, that kind of rock that I've been talking about that's all worn away and weathered away into razor sharp jagged edges. Well, there's 5 of these jagged holes leading down into this grotto, so you get a lot of sunshine down inside there, and that's very nice. And they feed the fish breadcrumbs there. Everyone's told to bring breadcrumbs if you have them, and so the fish are waiting for you when you come, and they're all around you when you're swimming, so it's quite delightful. And so I went through the grotto and checked that out, and I didn't actually have to dive down under so much because although the flood tide was building at the time, there was still perhaps 10 inches or so of air above the water surface before you hit the ceiling. So I could snorkel all the way in. Although a couple of times I brought my head up to see where I was, and I'm glad I didn't bring it up too hard because the ceiling was only a couple inches above that, and I kept forgetting about that. But anyway, it was quite delightful, and check that out. My friends from Spirit that I last saw in Abraham's Bay are here. They're anchored on the other side of Big Major's spot. And I noticed on my way back here to the boat this evening that they are over there now diving it. They're just a little slower than I am, so I wasn't going to wait for them. And after I did the dive, I changed into my clothes, which I had in the boat, and went over to Staniel Key Yacht Club and went in and had a couple drinks at their bar. And it is a big social focal point for this area. A lot of people apparently bring their boats down here, and they just make this their destination, and they hang around and socialize and all the rest of it. And of course, there's some people who just love to stay in the marinas. You know, that's what they do. They travel from spot to spot and stay in marinas. Well, neither my pocketbook nor my adventurous spirit would go along with that sort of thing. So I'm here anchoring again, just on the eastern side of Big Major's spot, where because of the wind switching around to the southwest and then veering westerly and up to the north in the next few days, this is a good spot. But I will be leaving here tomorrow. Want to continue on up a little farther to Exuma Park, which is the national park that they have here in the Bahamas, and there are moorings that you have to take and stuff, and that's very interesting, especially if I'm allowed to go to Wardrook Wells, which is one place I'd like to see. It's a very interesting spot where there is actual proof of pirate inhabitation in the olden days, and I'll talk more about that when I get there, and I definitely do want to see that. However, you do have to have a reservation for some of those mooring balls, whereas some of the mooring balls for other spots at the south end of the park is first come first serve. So I will actually check that out. If I can't get to Wardrook Wells, I will be going to Cambridge Key, which also has another name at this time. Names of these keys change all the time. I think one of my favorite key names from the southern Exumas is, and I may have this slightly wrong, I'm not sure the fellow's first name exactly, but I believe the name of the key is Captain Nathan Roll
God Rest the Dead key. So there you go. It's a beauty. The keys change names. They're often known locally by the inhabitants, and then the inhabitants pass away or whatever, or leave, and then the key maybe takes on a new name. So some of these keys have more than one name. And so anyway, I'm heading up that way tomorrow. Weather is still good. Not expecting any heavy winds or a frontal passage until perhaps Sunday, going into Monday. It's pushed back a day now. And so I'm keeping track on that. Unfortunately, I think I'm probably going to lose my internet here. I wasn't expecting to have this internet from Staniel Key. I have to pay for it, but it's worth it for getting the weather. And so anyway, we'll just carry on making our way toward Nassau in order to pick up a replacement for the satellite phone, because the satellite phone's display is malfunctioning. And the company wanted to send me a replacement. I don't know if I'm going to see anything in Nassau. It might be kind of fun. Atlantis, of course, is a huge resort there. We pay $30 just to view it for the day. I may go and see that and stay 2 nights. Well, we'll see. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. There is an anchorage there, and so I think I will be anchoring in Nassau, which I last saw with Ramona way before the kids were born, actually 9 months before Mark was born, on the Norway, SS Norway, which at the time was the largest cruise ship in the world, and which now is no longer, having been broken up on the shores of Sri Lanka. So anyway, it's going to be interesting next few days, and as I make my way past the midpoint of the Exumas and head to the northern end, I expect to go to Ship Channel Key. That'll be my last Exuma Island before I cross the Grand Bahama Bank to Nassau, and then after that head over to Eleuthera and maybe a night or two there, and then north to the Abacos.
And again, we're off. It's February 28th, and Prince Diamond's moving north from Big Major's spot to the Exuma Park area. We're going to be entering the national park here in the Bahamas, and so tonight, if we're lucky and find a mooring ball in one of the outlying keys, we'll be able to take a mooring. The next night, we're on the waiting list for a mooring ball in the Wardwick Wells area. Now those ones are by reservation only. So, beautiful day today. Got going fairly early this morning, and hopefully that means I'll be able to find a mooring ball at Cambridge Key, also known as Little Bell Key. So we'll see what happens.